Words purchase. Hello, hello. This is on. This is on. This is on.
I guess the power is on.
Yeah. Hello. क्या हो गया?
It's working.
Battery may be running out. Verse number 64. Onwards, talking about meditation on patience. When your spiritual teachers and the others are harmed, or when people do something against your spiritual teacher, holy objects, and so forth, then you should practice patience. Should others talk badly or even destroy holy images, reliquaries like stupas and the sacred Dharma, it is improper for me to resent it. For the Buddhas can never be injured. See? Afghanistan में हुआ था ना बहुत बड़ा Buddha statue destroyed. Then in Tibet, of course, so many things destroyed. But you should not get angry because hello, something is now. You need to change the battery probably. Hello. Hello. Yeah. I should prevent anger arising towards those who injure my spiritual master, relatives, and friends. Instead, I should see, as in the manner shown before, that such things arise from conditions. Now, what does this all? Are you feeling comfortable with all this talk on practice of patience? Are you feeling people destroy my temple, stupa, my spiritual teacher, still be patient? Are you okay with that? हाँ फिर क्या करेंगे आप लड़ेंगे हाँ so I'm pausing here and because on the one hand yes mentally you should not cultivate ill will negative emotion right right but at the same time it does not mean to say that you should let them destroy everything then you can't survive but at the same time what this teaching is saying is the most important thing is not what other people do but what you do right for example take the example of Tibet how Tibet lost its country more than 95-6% of the Tibetan population Buddhist. They are also doing circumambulation, Changja, Chak, Semba, all these things Tibetans were doing, which you are doing here right now, which I'm not saying bad. But if you get lost in this kind of traditional, external practices only, and unless you educate your younger generation with the Buddhist teaching, not only Buddhist teaching, but modern education, unless you fully equip them to be self-sufficient, to be able to protect oneself, people will take advantage of you. Right? So yes, it is amazing to say that all the problems basically come from negative emotion. So what we should try to do is remove negative emotion, lessen negative emotion. That is, of course, the goal. That is, of course, is the target. But meanwhile, there is no dearth of miscreants. There's no shortage of bad people. So right before anything happens, you should be so strong. Economically, you should be so powerful and rich, right? And people should be so educated that nobody कोई माया का लाल आपकी तरफ आंख भी ना देख सके ऐसा होना चाहिए शुरू से because in Tibet I'm telling you the similar kind of practice that we are doing going around the temple puja all these things they were doing but the majority to be honest the majority of the Tibetans they were ignorant they were having blind faith अभी यहाँ भी है blind faith बहुत ज़्यादा है But in the case of Tibetans and Ladakhis and all those Buddhists, I always tell them we are lucky because the religion towards which you had blind faith turned out to be a good religion. Imagine if it turns out to be, I don't like using the bad religion, but imagine if it turns out to be a system if it turns out to be a system where killing is promoted in the name of religion and things like that, then, right? So therefore, you should learn from the Tibetans. So you should be, number one, you should study Buddhism in such a way that Buddhism makes sense in today's world. Talking about nirvana, enlightenment, they're all very good. But I'm telling you, Buddhism must make sense in today's world. Buddhists should be well educated. Buddhists should not be resorting to drugs and smoking and all the bad things. Right? Buddhists should be able to hold higher power in the administrative circle, not to bully other people, but to be able to give this opportunity to spread this gentle teaching, gentle Dharma. Because if you don't have the power, You can't do anything to spread this message of Buddha to benefit others, right? So modern education with the traditional education, these two are the wings, two wings of the bird. Without one wing, you can't fly. So similarly, if you just keep on talking Buddhism, 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 it is not enough because you are living in this modern world. You also need to live like others and show that you are not far behind. क्या करें? करना पड़ता है. Adaptation बोलते हैं ना हम लोग. If you are unable to adapt, you will die a natural death. But adapting to the modern way of life doesn't mean that you forget the important traditional lessons, which is so difficult to get in today's world. Right? Right? We have a body and a mind. So material things take science and materialism, they take care of only of the body, not of the mind. And that's why we have all problems, depression, loneliness, low self-esteem, divorce, killing, conflict, all these things are happening. So therefore, while we make material progress, we should also develop the inner resources. And people suffer from drug and so forth because they don't have the inner resources. Right? When you don't have this love and compassion, inner resources, then you feel empty. In order to fill that empty, then you resort to all kind of things, including taking drugs. Right? So, Buddhism must make sense in today's world. Buddhism must go hand in hand with science. I think it was Bertrand Russell, or maybe, Einstein, who said if there is one religion that can go with science, it is Buddhism. I'm not saying it. Bertrand Russell said, Einstein said it. Einstein said if there is one religion that can go with science, it is Buddhism because it covers both what is spiritual and what is natural. It covers both. That is what is spiritual and what is natural. Right? So, on the one hand, of course, you need to practice patience, but that doesn't mean that you let others do whatever they like. आपके सिर पर बैठ गया फिर भी बोलेगा पेशेंस प्रैक्टिस कर रहा है, हाँ? आपका घर लूट रहा है फिर भी बोलेगी आई एम प्रैक्टिसिंग पेशेंस. It is important to maintain that kind of patience towards human beings because we are harmed not only by human beings, but we are also harmed by non-sentient, non-human beings. Right? Since embodied sentient beings are harmed by both animate beings and inanimate beings, why only bear malice to the animate? It follows that I should patiently accept all harm. Some do wrong things because of ignorance, and others do things because of anger. So who is right, who is wrong, who is at fault, and who would be without fault? Why? And especially if you don't want to be harmed, then why you collected negative karma so that today you become an object of harm? Why did I previously commit those actions because of which others now cause me harm? Since everything is related to my actions, why should I bear ill will towards other enemies? When I've seen this to be so, when I see this When I have seen this to be so, I should strive for what is meritorious in order to certainly bring with loving thoughts between all. So that means you should learn to live in harmony with the love after realizing all these facts. And you should focus on developing your merits. For example, when a fire in one house has moved into another house, it is right to get rid of straw and such things, and they will cause the fire to spread. That means if you see one of your neighbor's house is on fire, and then because of the fear that the fire might spread to your house, you should immediately remove all those things like straw that would easily catch fire, that are inflammable. Similarly, likewise, when the fire of hatred spreads to whatever my mind is as attached, I should immediately get rid of it for fear of my merit being burned. Why is a man condemned to death not fortunate if he is released after having his hand cut off? Similarly, why am I who am experiencing human misery not fortunate if by that I am spared from the agonies of hell? And if you are not able to these minor sufferings, then how are you going to experience suffering the whole hell if you're born in the hell? So therefore, why don't you stop anger? If I'm unable to endure even the small sufferings of the present life, then why do I not restrain myself from being angry, which will be the source of hellish misery? In our past lives, for the sake of satisfying my desire, I have suffered numerous burnings in hell, but by those actions I fulfilled the purpose of neither myself nor others. कुछ भी इतना तकलीफ मैंने उठाया, कुछ भी नहीं मिला. But now when you do Dharma practice, you may encounter some problem, but not going to get so much problem. That's what is being said in verse 75. But now since great meaning will accrue by doing this practice, from harm which is not even a fraction of what I should indeed be solely joyful, of that I should indeed be solely joyful towards such suffering and dispel the harms of all. For example, you are sitting here for continuously for 4 days. इतना सेशन आपने अटेंड किया, इतना डिस्कशन किया. When you do all this listening to the talks, all these discussions, all these meditations, you have to encounter a little bit problem, right? Problem है नहीं है problem है. Problem कहाँ है? Knees or back or mind. Anyway, the point I'm making is there may be some, not big problem, some inconvenience. Sometimes you might feel, oh, instead of sitting, I should be going for a walk in the forest. Some inconvenience, but it is important to undergo such small sufferings, problems, to get rid of a bigger problem. ये प्रकृति का नियम है. If you want to get a big one, you should undergo some problem, some suffering. Right? So if you see somebody benefiting your enemy, don't get jealous, don't get angry, practice patience. That is what is said in the next verse, next few verses. Should someone else find joyous happiness upon praising my enemy as an excellent person, why mind do you not praise him too? Bodhisattva, and likewise make yourself happy. Their joyous happiness of yours would be a source of joy, not something prohibited. A precept given by the excellent ones and the supreme means of assembling others. Meaning that if you also join that other person in praising the enemy, then this is like pure joy, not sinful. And this is a practice that is uh, encouraged by the learned ones. And this way of life is also the best way to attract other people. It is said that others are made happy through being praised in this way, but in this way, you do not want them to have this happiness. Then, since it makes them happy, you should cease giving wages and the like to your servants. But you would be adversely affected both in this and future lives. So, if you say that I don't want to do anything which makes others happy, then you should not give wages to your servants also. Because when you give salary to the wages, they feel very happy. But if you don't do such things, then you will have no happiness in this life and in the future lives also. Now, in your case, when people describe my own good qualities, I want others to be happy too. But when they describe the good qualities of others, I do not wish to be happy myself. This is wrong. This is stupid. Right? And especially, you made a commitment, right? Having generated the awakening mind through wishing all beings to be happy, why should I become angry if they find some happiness themselves? You have cultivated bodhicitta to benefit all sentient beings. Now, if you find somebody who is finding his own happiness through his own hard work, why are you jealous? You should especially be happy, like the mother being happy when she sees her children getting good opportunity, good work. Right? When the mother doesn't have to do much, but her children gets job, you will be very happy. Right? If I wish for all sentient beings to become Buddha, if I wish for all sentient beings to become Buddhas worshipped throughout the three realms, if I wish for all sentient beings to become Buddha, who is worshipped throughout the three realms, then why am I tormented when I see them receiving a mere mundane respect? If somebody gets some award or some gift, if you get jealous, right? So it's saying that this is completely against your commitment. If a relative for whom I am caring and to whom I must give many things, but if they are able to find their own livelihood, wouldn't I be happy? Or rather than angry? Of course, you should be happy. So, such should be your attitude. If I do not wish for beings to have even this, how can I wish for them to be awakened? How can I wish them to become Bodhisattva? And where is there an awakening mind in him who becomes angry when others receive things? So that means when others prosper, others get promoted, others become rich, don't get jealous. Be happy. Be happy. Okay? What does it matter if my enemy is given something or not, whether he obtains it or whether it remains in the benefactor's house? In either case, I shall get nothing. So why are you jealous? But unfortunately, we human beings have this tendency to become jealous Monks become jealous with other monks, women become jealous with other women, lamas get jealous with other lamas. Right? The lama, I am a very big lama. How come this lama is treated like this? It really happens, unfortunately. So long as you have this negative attitude, self-importance, all those unfortunate things happen. Jealous. So why, by becoming angry, do I throw away my merits, the faith others have in me and my good qualities? Tell me, why am I not angry with myself for not having the cause for gain? Let alone not having any remorse about the evils that you committed or mind. Why do you wish to compete with others who have committed meritorious deeds? So don't unnecessarily compare with others, right? And we have this element of being jealous. For example, if let us imagine a very rich person enters this room and asks us the question, what are these people doing here? What are these people doing here? And what are these three young girls are doing here? If somebody says something like this, and then I tell them, oh, this is a group of students, including these three young clever girls. They are doing Dharma practice. They are trying to become good. Then that rich man says, oh, this is excellent. So I'm going to give them $1,000 each, except Geshe Lhakdor. You all get $1,000. I did not get it. Then what happens? I feel a little bit unhappy. Why he did not give this to me? Jealous. You see, the reality is whether he comes and gives $1,000 to you or not, I don't get it. But when he doesn't give to everybody, I'm okay. But when he gives to all of you, not me, I feel a little bit uncomfortable. So there is an element of jealous in all of us, right? So very bad, jealous. Let alone not having any remorse about the evils that you committed or mind. Why do you wish for compete with others who have committed meritorious deeds? Even if your enemy is made unhappy, what is there for you to be joyful about? You are merely wishing for him to be hurt, did not cause him to be injured. Right? And then I think what's number 87 is saying, from verse number 87 onwards, for few verses, it's talking about practicing patience when somebody obstructs undesirable things happening to an enemy. As you recall, I've explained earlier that when somebody helps enemy, you feel uncomfortable, right? And you expect that the enemy should suffer. So here he's saying that even if your enemy is made unhappy, what is there for you to be joyful about? You are merely wishing for him to be hurt, did not cause him to be injured. And even if he does suffer as you had wished, what is there for you to be joyful about? If you say, for I shall be satisfied, how could there be anything more wretched than that? This hook cast by the fishermen of disturbing conceptions is unbearably sharp. Having been caught on it, it is certain that I shall be cooked in cauldrons by the guardian of hell. So this really negative emotion is like a fisherman who once catches the fish, kills it. So similarly, once you are caught by these negative emotions, you will be cooked in the hot hell. Now I'll give you opportunity to ask questions. Ask more questions. And we are going to finish chapter 6 today. And that's it from Bodhicitta this time.
Hello. Hello.
So you have 1 full hour, 1 hour to grill me. मुझे को पकड़ के पकाओ अभी, grill me.
Hello.
Yeah.
Tashidele Gishela. So our group number 4 had this doubt about anger and hatred.
Yes.
So on behalf of our group, I'm asking this question. We brainstormed about both hatred and anger being destructive emotions, but we are still not clear about which one is more destructive. Can you please?
Hatred.
Yeah, hatred and anger.
Hatred is more destructive. Anger can sometimes be useful. Hatred means you don't like that other person deep down from your heart. Anger, not necessarily. Anger comes because of certain provocations and irritations. So it happens, then you pick up a fight and then finish. But hatred, even after the fight is over, still you want to do something negative to that person. She means from the core of your heart, you dislike that person. So that's much more destructive. So therefore, when we talk about the 3 poisons, it is shedang, hatred, not so much of ignorance. Yes.
Good afternoon, Geshe. Thank you so much for your wonderful sessions. We're from the same group. So what seemed to confuse the group was there were contradictory opinions about how each person shared that, since hatred is something that we could have towards, for example, a political regime, and they seem to have a very constructive, you can say, a hatred, wherein they're very sure that they do not like the political regime because they have not directly caused harm to them, but the people, like, for example, say, to a Chinese government or to a recent the unrest, political unrest towards a certain government regime. So they seem to share that since their hatred has a bit of a reason wherein they do not like certain leaders and it has stayed with them for a prolonged duration. So how can hatred be still destructive? So we could not, assign a certain terminology, and maybe, probably like a different terminology could be used because there were certain discussions which also agreed with what you just shared, Geshe, that anger is sometimes useful and beneficial also, which I personally agree because it could be short-lived. And if understood well, it can go into a very, insightful direction. However, there were disagreements and we could not, if you could please kindly.
There is a beautiful stanza from Nagarjuna, where it says, Davo silden dobai, danye yuntin ji tuji, nusem gembe jishikcha, dene dangdu dalame. So you're all very good in Tibetan. So you knew what I said? It didn't make any sense. Dawo silnön devai, Dawo means enemy. Dawo silnön devai means those who wishes to overpower the enemy. Those who wants to overpower the enemy. Dawo silnön devai, dangi yundin ji tuji, you should raise yourself with your education and qualities. What is the use of harmful intention? Like hatred. Such negative emotions like hatred will harm you, not the other person. So if you may have a lot of reasons to be angry and to be unhappy, but if you maintain these negative emotions within you, it will not harm the other side, it will harm yourself. So instead, you should come up with the reasoning. And then, of course, any peaceful means doing it. That's much, much more powerful. Right? Otherwise, the result of hatred is burning and killing, you see. It's burning and killing. And that's why His Holiness says, the disadvantage of using violence is, violence breeds of violence. And you will never be able to break that cycle. Right? So that is not the solution.
Thank you, Geshe. I do have a individual question as well. You talked about perfections. So perfections. There's so many perfections apparently in Buddhism. I think the 6 paramitas are the perfections. So, what is very unsettling is the terminology itself, the perfection. Perfectionism is rather studied in psychology as a disorder wherein you strive to always do your best, and if at all you cannot achieve that, there's a certain disappointment, and which can lead to then again this destructive emotions. So I think I tried to study it. I think perhaps what perfection of generosity and others, what I think Buddhism tries to indicate is the a higher excellence maybe. So could we perhaps use another word, because it does seem settling for me, and we had a discussion with others also that the perfection word itself, it's a very distress causing to reach that level. So there's a certain added pressure.
Yeah. I'll remove that pressure, don't worry. We even have an English saying, practice makes man perfect. And in many areas, it's not so difficult to become perfect. For example, singing a particular song. It may take some time, then after a little bit training, perfect. आपका सुर ठीक था, आपका ताल ठीक था, सब कुछ ठीक था, हो सकता है, right? But then sometimes we use the word perfection in a more satirical sense. Oh, she is a perfectionist. He is a perfectionist, which is not possible, something like that. So here in that case, you should, in Buddhism, for example, when we say perfection of giving, as we already read, perfection of giving does not mean that you have removed the poverty of everybody. If in your mind you have this capacity to give everything that you have, then you have achieved that perfection. And from that point of view, we say Buddha achieved perfection. Right? So it is possible. But it depends upon in which direction you are trying to achieve that perfection. If you're moving in a wrong direction, which is impossible for you to achieve due to certain causes and conditions, then, as I answered to somebody, lollipop मैंने बोला था ना, मुझे वही चाहिए बोल के कहीं भी नहीं पहुंचेगा. तो तुमको पता होना चाहिए कि what is it that I can achieve, what is it that I can't achieve. and what is the benefit of achieving such thing, right? So you need to explore and use all the pros and cons before you embark on any spiritual and other journey. Okay?
So might I just add that we can then add the element of rejoice in it, that once that goal is achieved, one needs to be just rejoicing that I did something.
Yes,
Henceforth.
yes, sure. Even you can even dance and sing, yeah. I mentioned this earlier, really. No issue, no problem. Okay.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Tashitala Geshe-la, first of all, I would like to thank you for all your teachings, and I hope that the answer you gave was satisfactory to them. My question isn't related to what was taught today, or isn't related to Shantideva retreat that we had for the past 3 years, or past 3 days. It is a very simple question. It is about the existence that we have. My question is, what is the meaning of life? Or if I phrase it better, what is the purpose of life? Is it just to be born one day, graduate high school, graduate college, fall in love with someone else, make babies, and then just one day die? Or is there something grand or something extraordinary that I am missing and that I'm unaware of?
It's very simple. Purpose of life is happiness. If you are getting that happiness, then it's good. We will never say purpose of life is to practice Buddhism. No. You can practice Buddhism also. You can do singing, dancing, making babies, whatever. Huh? So long as you are really happy, that's purpose. We are talking about purpose of this life, right? Not many lives to come. Be happy. So happy means, as I mentioned earlier, genuine satisfaction. So happiness leads to genuine satisfaction. Genuine satisfaction leads to more happiness. Okay. Oh.
Geshe-la, one more question. Geshe-la, if I was a political leader and I build,
What did you say?
imagine I was a political leader
Yeah,
and
politician.
I build a dam for that people of certain village
Yes.
must be removed from that to build that dam. But that dam gonna be helpful for whole state or a whole number of people. So basically, we are doing something bad for a greater good. So what do you think about that, Geshe-la? What would you do?
पहले तो तुम देखो जमीन किसका है जमीन किसका है तुम so you need to see everything, the owner of those land, you can't just kick them away like that, saying that, oh, I have a big project, building dam, benefiting many. That's what the government always say thing. That may be the case, may not be the case. So, right? So therefore, you should, whatever you do, you should do it with the consent of the people. And so long as those people, accepts, when you give some compensation and things like that, then it's okay. But if you जोर जबरदस्ती करके करने से, your objective may be great, but it's wrong. It's wrong. Right? Okay.
Hello. Tashitala Geshe-la. So my question goes like, if ignorance causes suffering, does asking too many questions creates good karma?
Karma, positive karma.
Right.
Asking too many questions is karma. It's a
Good
positive karma, or maybe at least neutral karma, not necessarily negative, because you are trying to gain more knowledge and trying to remove ignorance. But then, of course, it depends on the motivation of the questioner. If the questioner is asking question simply to grill Geshe Lhakdor and no other purpose, then that's a different question, you see. Yeah.
Tuchina.
Oh.
My question is that if I hurt someone to save someone's life, is it good or bad?
Huh?
My question is that if I hurt someone to save someone's life, is this good or bad?
Of course, bad. Hurt someone, deceive somebody, huh? Doubly bad.
To save someone's life.
Huh?
To save someone's life.
To save, oh, I saw the deceive, okay. To save one. मैं आपको एक बताता हूँ. When you talk about lying, you know, एक कहावत है हिंदी में, अगर दूसरे लोग झूठ बोले तो आपको अच्छा नहीं लगता, लेकिन अब खुद झूठ बोले तो अच्छा लगता है. You see, right? So it depends. It depends. If you really, your motivation is to save somebody, I think it's good. White lie. ठीक.
Thank you.
So my question is that.
So I'll tell you one thing. Everybody says, so my question is.
I'm sorry.
I am now here not going to teach you Buddhism, I'm going to teach you, improve your English. If you get rid of this one thing, so, your question will be much better. Okay, many of you have adopted this tendency, so my question is. And then I will also say, so my answer is. Okay, now ask.
Geshe
You are missing your friend?
I'm sure you agree on the fact that every point on this earth has certain pros and cons, and you agreed on that, right?
What?
Every point has a pros and cons, advantage as well as disadvantages.
I don't know.
Every point has pros and cons.
Every point, what do you mean every point?
Everything.
Everything.
Yes.
Don't kill others. What is the pros and cons? So anyway, continue.
So, what's the disadvantages of following Buddhism?
What disadvantage of
following Buddhism?
Disadvantage of?
Is there any disadvantages of following Buddhism?
There is no disadvantage. If you don't follow it wrongly, if you follow it wrongly, then there is a disadvantage. Otherwise, there's no disadvantage.
As you have said earlier, that every point has a pros and cons. I've heard you are saying that.
What?
Every point has pros and everything has pros and cons.
Maybe. Yeah,
so this might be true that Buddhism might have some disadvantages.
Buddhism might have some disadvantages.
Following Buddhism.
Following Buddhism, I don't think there is any disadvantage.
So my second question goes like this: that after we have heard you saying that our mind travels, but not our body, our soul travels from one dreams to other. So my question is that after that, I've seen many of my villagers taking rebirth, or I've seen great gurus taking reincarnations. So in between, when they die, they tend to forget the hell and the heaven concept. They often get to remember the earlier life which they used to have, but not the central life when they follow the path of hell and heaven. Why is that so?
I'm not so very clear about your question.
Let me say it easily.
Yeah.
So what I saw in my village is that people.
First thing is you should stand erect.
I'm just trying to.
Sinatan ke pujo.
So what I saw in my village is that I saw people taking reincarnations or being reborn.
Rebirth, yeah.
So they tend to remember their earlier lives, So when they tell that this was my room, that was my house, and I used to go.
Yeah, I got it
So
now.
they tend to forget the in between the path where they when they pass the path of hell and heaven concept. Why is that? So then don't remember the hell and heaven concept when they tend to remember the previous life again.
I don't know. I mean, when you talk about remembering many things that happened in the past life, there are so many things. So they cannot talk about everything. It will take like many years to say. So out of these many things, they are primarily like ordinary people, they are primarily more habituated with their day-to-day life activities. Or probably luckily they may not have to go to hell realm, right? So there's nothing to remember if they didn't go there.
Why not heaven then?
Huh?
Why not they
They
remember
did not
the
go to heaven also.
Yes.
No, they didn't go to heaven, they did not go to hell. Because of their good karma, they just came back. So they just remember what they did in their past life, the ordinary way of life, not hell and heaven, because in both the places they did not go.
Thank you, Geshe.
ठीक है?
There's a concept of that life is a temporary play. Life is like a dream. And then I like this idea so much. Shakespeare also said life is a play. We all have each own role. I think that is very. I like this idea. I feel lightened up a little bit. So there is the role of Buddha, of course. There's a role of practitioner, I think there's a role of the poor people, the role of rich people, or many roles, I think. And then if that is the case, then we are just enjoying this life, and we are just playing this playground. And then there's another concept that after we get enlightened in this life, we will not have another life another life. And then if this life is a play, and then we are just enjoying this life, why do enlightened people come back to this life and then enjoy again, and then have another experience? Feels like I don't know.
But I will answer only from the Buddhist viewpoint.
Yes.
Not the viewpoint of others. So according to Buddhist viewpoint, this is not only the life, there are many, many more lives to come, to go, whether you like it or not. Right? Right?
Yes.
So this life also you should enjoy. Not in a negative sense, but in a positive sense. That's why we always say be happy.
Yes.
And do certain things that is good, so that you're able to come back and again be happy, enjoy.
Yes.
Yes. So that's the thing. So don't get depressed by saying, oh, this life is like a illusion. There's nothing. There is a possibility of getting depressed with this kind of thinking. I told you the story of Leo Tolstoy the other day. Leo Tolstoy. I explained, right? So, like for example, how can you be so sure that there is tomorrow?
Not sure.
Not so sure, no? But you're sure that you're alive today, right? You're sure. You touch yourself.
Yes.
You're sure you're there. So enjoy today.
Yes.
Don't worry too much about what happened in the past. Don't worry too much about what will happen in the future. While you can make preparations, but there is no guarantee.
Yes.
But today is cash. Tomorrow may be a checkbook.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Sorry for the interruption. What Geshe meant to ask the question is, people often tend to remember their previous life, but they tend to forget the Bardo stage, even though it comes later.
No, he said hell and heaven.
Earlier he was asking the same question in the group.
Acha, acha.
Yeah. So that was he meant to ask the question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as I said, you're primarily influenced by that long life in this life. For example, say, depending upon how long did you live, maybe 50, 60, 70 years old, that's a long time. So you have a lot of experiences. So it's more likelihood that you remember that rather than short time that you spend in Pardo. Right? And some people remember. We cannot rule out that they remember only this life and not the intermediate state. It is possible. But it's also possible not everybody remembers that because it was just a transit. When you fly from here to America and transit in Germany, you'll not remember much about Germany. It's such a short stay, probably something like that. Yeah. Rawa.
Tashitala Geshe. So, no, not so. In Buddhism, intention matters a lot in whatever intention.
Yeah.
Matters a lot in whatever we do. For example, if you're prostrating or lighting a butter lamp, or whatever we do, intention matters a lot. So last session you told us the story about this, and I've heard the story before about like a bug that landed on a cow dung. Bug that landed on a cow dung, and the cow dung did a circumambulation of a stupa, and the bug gained merit. So the bug itself, it has no intention, but the action itself was pure.
Yeah.
So do you believe that without intention, the action itself has the power to give us merit? And if so, for example, a person who is lighting up the butter lamp or circumambulating, but are thinking negative thoughts about some other person, will that person gain positive merit because of the action itself, or negative merit due to the thinking intention?
Actually, in the case of this bug that circled around the stupa, we say he collected merit. He or she, I don't know, collected merit, not because of the intention of the bug, because of the stupa inside. Shinga thula tembas, depending upon the power of holy object, holy person, holy stupa, at their vicinity, you collect some merit, not because of intention, because the bug has no intention to collect any merit.
So Geshe Lhakdor, you believe
So
that?
now in this case of butter lamp, it's a mixed karma. The fact that you lighted the lamp has some positive fruit, but the fact that you're doing with a negative motivation, it's a negative karma.
Yeah, because sometimes I've heard that if you have no intention while doing something, for example, like lighting a butter lamp or doing prostrations, it has no merit as such because there's no mental conditioning for it. So
Even that's why we normally say intention is very important to make anything become powerful positive practice or powerful negative practice. That doesn't mean that without intention you can't do anything good or bad. For example, without intention to kill a bug, when you walk, then you tremble and end. It's negative karma.
Indeed. Yeah, thank you so much, Geshe.
Julia Geshe. Is Buddhism is a religion or a spiritual practice to get enlightenment?
Buddhism is not a religion as is understood in the West. Because the word religion, as is understood in the Western tradition, is a practice whose central philosophy is to have faith in a greater God, which is not there in Buddhism. So from that point of view, it is not a religion.
So religion believes in creator. So religion believes in creator.
When you, strictly speaking, if you follow this word, English word religion, or the practice that is done in many Judeo-Christian traditions, it's faith-oriented. The core concept is having faith to the greater God. From that point of view, it is no religion. But if you categorize from the point of view of having good universal messages like love, brotherhood, sisterhood, then from that point of view, Buddhism is a religion. It depends how you interpret it.
Thank you, Geshe.
Simple question. What do you think of nazar? Like transfer of negative energy or nazar, aag lag gaya, matlab nazar lag gaya. Is it something a transfer of negative energy or just a creation of our own mind? Or do you believe in that?
Creation of your thinking. Some casting spells, I cannot deny casting spells possible, but basically your thinking, namto, your conception. नजर न लगे बोल के यहाँ बिंदी लगा दे या नजर न लग जाए बोलते गरी के पीछे जूता बांधता है हाँ ज्यादा फायदा नहीं है कुछ भी सारा बच्चों को यहाँ बिंदी लगा देना नजर न लग जाए यहाँ लगा दे
Tashidele Gisela. I'm this kid, and I want to ask that.
What you said? You're this kid.
I'm this kid. My name is this kid.
It's name of a place or monastery, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. My question is that the other day you mentioned that education in today's world is solidifying ignorance, right?
In a sense.
Yeah. And but right now, just you said that modern education and traditional education should go hand in hand.
Yes.
It's like a wing of a bird, right?
Yes.
So how would you define modern education?
Yes, madam. So in order to understand modern education, you need to know what is the meaning of modernization, what is the meaning of modernity. People don't know the meaning of modernity. When we use the word modernity, people think, there should be many high-rise buildings. And between these high-rise buildings, there should be really tarred, road. And on those smooth road, many cars are plying. Wow, so modernized. That is not the idea of modernity. The actual idea of modernity is respecting everybody, making no discrimination between men and women, not especially honoring somebody because he or she is the son or the daughter of a king or prince. Everybody is equal. That's the idea of modernity.
I have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Thank you for the answer, firstly.
Yeah.
Many, like in today's time, India specifically and Ladakh also.
So from that point of view, I can say Buddhism is very, very modernized. Modernized, going much ahead before the time. Although it came into this world 2,500 years ago. You see? And Buddha was the one who fought against discrimination. Buddha was the one who spoke about taking care of all sentient beings. All sentient beings, बोलने वाला कहाँ है? कौन सा religion आजकल? At the most today we say globalization. बहुत बड़ा बोल दिया. Modernization, the globalization. Globalization also means, basically the word globalization is came into being for doing business. There's no talk about love, there's no talk about compassion. But the so-called globalization is also only about human beings, not about all sentient beings, animals, birds, kuch bhi nahi hai. But Buddhism is talking about benefit of all sentient beings. Kire makore ke saath, all sentient beings. Very advanced. So if you want to follow one really advanced, modernized religion, it is Buddhism.
Gisela, I have a follow-up question. you would be very aware that in Indian society and also specifically Ladakh, there are very unemployed youths, as they like to quote in economics. But then they all of us tend to blame the Indian education system a lot, and I too believe in that. But um, do you think that blaming is just one of the ways to show the anger towards the government or the system, or do you believe that there's a urgent need of change in the education system that is in India today?
Education system, if you look at the latest education system, at least in the right half, it's very good.
But it's not.
It's very good. But the problem is not what is written in the constitution, not what is written in the textbook. How this is implemented on the ground. That's the problem. Somebody sanctions for a particular institution 1 crore, 1 crore, फिर 50 लाख तो बीच में खा गया, फिर कहाँ होगा? हाँ, फिर धीरे धीरे वहां पहुंचेगा 1 लाख 90 लाख गायब हो गया. हाँ, राम नाम जपना प्राइमल अपना, फिर कहाँ होगा? That's the problem, really. And there is not much concern about poor people. That's the problem. So therefore, in places like Ladakh, where people belong to Buddhism, we are talking about compassion. So people who are in power should really, it's not easy, easier said than done. I'm not saying nobody is doing anything, but as much as possible try to uplift those poorer people. It's very important. Very important. Otherwise, in today's world, rich becoming richer, poor people becoming poorer. You won't believe, you will be shocked to know the world's resources, major resources, are enjoyed by only 11% of the population of the world. Right? So so many people are so poor, they have nothing to eat, no place to live. Right?
Geshe, why monks shave their head and why they wear red clothes and yellow clothes?
Very good question. Other monks, I don't know. In my case, I have no money. If I keep hair, then I have to buy a comb, then some shampoos. So I have no money. So I'm joking. No, the reason is a good question. The reason is to lessen attachment. There is a lot of attachment with the hair, especially girls maybe. है ना? Hair तो होना चाहिए ना? Right? And it's also not easy to maintain it, right? आजकल तो hair spa भी होता है, whatever that means. And then also the red color is also supposed to reduce attachment. Because at the time of the Buddha, 3 colors, red or maroon, and this yellow or orange, plus blue. These 3 colors were treated as inferior colors at the time of the Buddha. Now it is very colorful, attractive, but at that time, treated as inferior colors. So to reduce attachment, Buddha encouraged to wear these clothes.
Thank you, Geshe.
Yeah.
May I say something? So we have 15 minutes left, and today is the last day with Geshe for batch 1. I request all the new faces to come out, and it is literally a rare opportunity to interact directly with Geshe.
What? क्या बोला?
So I'm saying, Geshe, we have left with 15 minutes. Yes, and today is the last day with you for.
But we have another session, no?
I mean, last day.
Okay.
We have a session.
Yeah. So
That's really question.
My question is, of all the historical figures, which person do you respect the most? Which person do you respect the most? Or
in the whole world?
In the whole world, including the history, in the history. And then, in other words, if you have, suppose you have next life, what kind of person do you want to be in the next life, and why?
No, as a Buddhist, as a
except
Buddhist,
except the Buddha, except the.
As a Buddhist, I have the greatest respect to Buddha, of course.
Yeah.
Then there are many teachers like Shantideva. I have great respect. Nagarjuna, Chandrakirti. I read all their teachings, so I have very special respect to all of them. Right. So I may not be able to come back like them, but I pray that I come back to be the followers of these great teachers. Right.
Okay.
Then in the modern world, as I mentioned, although my knowledge is shallow, not very deep, but I have great respect to Martin Luther King, right?
Yes.
Mahatma Gandhi,
Yeah.
and Nelson Mandela. So they are them, and then from the scientist Einstein, among the philosophers Bertrand Russell, right? So there are many great people. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Geshe-la, I had a question, not a question actually, a request. Could you please explain, like briefly, about the self-cherishment attitude and the self-centered attitude? And also, could you give an example?
I think I should explain it. You remind me in the next session, okay? Because this will take a little more time.
Okay.
I'll explain it in the concluding session.
Thank you.
Geshe-la, on the first day of the retreat, we talked about the law of nature. And we all know there has been many instances in other religions where some man-made interventions has indeed harmed the community. For example, Dalits were not allowed to enter the temples, or women were not allowed to enter the temples. Do you think there are such traditions or old beliefs in Buddhism that must be removed right now?
Day before yesterday, somebody raised this question that in Ladakh itself there are temples where women are not allowed.
Yeah, so like there are.
But at least my knowledge is in Dharamsala we have one of the most holy temple started by His Holiness Thigchen Cholik Tuglaka. There everybody is allowed. No discrimination.
It is not about allowance, but I wanted to ask if there are some social beliefs that you think should be moved.
There are many social beliefs, stupid beliefs should be removed.
Because in Buddhism there is not that much restriction as others.
Yes.
You are free to practice what you want.
Yes.
But there still continues to be some.
Yeah. For example, what we call as cultural clippings. You see, it may be not in accordance with the Buddhist teaching, but orally passed traditions, which are cultural clippings, which is irrelevant. So those things should be abolished. Like for example, you cannot say we have been doing this in the past, we should do this now. For example, in Tibet, because of the cold climate, we used to wear, chubas with thick fur inside. So that is part of our culture in a way. But we can't now wear this in Delhi, 45 degrees centigrade, right? So those things.
But practically, it kind of seems difficult to remove these because the people, if we oppose, they think that we're disrespecting the religion itself. Like, for example, the women in temple, they don't let us enter.
It's difficult. When you use the word difficult, you did not say impossible, right? You said difficult. Yes, difficult. Everything is difficult to change. But with the passage of time, when nobody follows them, it will change. That's what I said yesterday. If they don't let you go in the temple, don't go. If nobody goes, then gradually say, now please come. ये होता यही होता है. This is human way of doing things. इसको मत करो बोलेगा तो करेगा करेगा बोलता है. करो करो बोलते हैं तो नहीं करेगा बोलता है.
Tachirele Kela, Gisela. So my question is, sorry, not so. Can I?
Did you also say so?
By mistake, sorry.
So at least due to my visit to this retreat, this word so is gone. So your English will be much better.
Can an action give result or effect for a multiple or many times? If yes, and how and when? Like if we did some or like all actions we did, it stays for a multiple times or many lifetimes.
Yeah, unless you purify it, it will stay for a long time. So therefore, in actions we say actions whose results will be born in this life. Actions whose result will be born in the immediate next life. Actions whose result will be born after many lives. So it's not necessary that the result should be born today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jula Geshe. So now you just have said that Mikha and the Nazar are all the creation of our mind, right? And so then why do we do all the rituals like we do Sirkem and all this? And not just, it might be a misconception that has been built in the mind of Ladakhis, but then the religious gurus also let us fear, and then they say, you should be doing this ritual, that ritual, there is some devils in your house, and all these things. So does that, are they scamming us, or is that the real thing? Scamming us in the sense...
Yes, my dear friend.
Because
listen, my dear friend, I'm not responsible for all the teachers, what they say. Okay? But I will also not say stop reciting Mikatando, all these things, because if you have this thinking that this will help me, it will help you. You see, it's again your mind, you see. So what I'm saying is, don't pay too much attention that somebody looks at you or your heart doesn't make much sense. But still, if you think, then you decide to make a down.
So even if you don't do all the rituals, it will be fine, right, Geshe? I mean,
if you don't have special, fears and things like that, it's absolutely fine.
Okay, so
it is not fine when you have doubt. Maybe that has hurt me. Then you need to do something. You see.
Okay, so and also I shouldn't be listening to all the other gurus, right? Because also I don't need to listen to other gurus, what we call hamos, chal hamo, and
yeah, you should
whenever we go.
Yeah, you should listen only to me, not anybody. I'm joking.
Because
I'm joking.
They
you should listen, no problem.
So
it's not necessary for you to listen everybody. If you want to listen, no problem. But after listening, you use your brain. Which one sounds correct, which one doesn't sound correct. You should have this capacity to judge.
And then, Geshe, I have another question.
Yes.
Older peoples tend to recite the prayers not in a complete sentence, like they said. The older peoples, when they get old, they don't able to recite the prayers properly. They just said the half sentence, like if that is Om Mane Padme Hu, they just say Mane Padme Hu or something like that. So does they, because of not able to recite the prayers properly, does it accumulate them some bad
Yes,
karmas?
it's motivation. Motivation. I'll tell you a story of an old woman in Tibet. She used to recite a long prayer which is called Dukar, white umbrella deity prayer. So she learned that from, she is illiterate, so she learned that from somebody, but with great devotion and faith, she used to recite it. And as soon as she starts reciting it, the white umbrella used to appear before her. And then one day, a learned person visited her home, and after hearing what she was reciting, she said, "It's good you are reciting, but it's all wrong, you know. Pronunciation is wrong, you know, you're committing so many mistakes." So because of this, next time when this old woman recited white umbrella, she recited it haltingly, you know, maybe I'm wrong, then few lines, maybe I made a mistake, and then the white umbrella did not appear. So it's very much dependent upon your faith.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
So I don't have any question. Like, just I wanted to like know your opinion.
Yeah.
Like by asking this, like I think I'm asking like behalf of all of us. Like having been learning science and like religion hand to hand. Like before like coming to this retreat, like personally for myself, like I didn't know like religion could be like a way to live life. I always thought that like science, like it gives practical solutions like to how to be happy, like how to treat how to temper your body like well, so that your mind can be well too, like you can think better for others too. So like day by day, like having like myself, I'm very keen, like I have keen interest in like particle physics and quantum science. So day by day, like it is being proved that like what we see is like the presence of our mind, like how we see things. Like the great scientists like Schrödinger's and everything, they proved like what we see, like how we see it exists or not. It depends on our own observation.
Yes.
Our anger or anything, it depends on our own observation.
Yes.
So this question, like I've seen, like I've read somewhere, in like a great like discussion among like great physicists and everyone, where like our Tinjan Savilama was also there. So they asked this question like, what if we prove like everything, like practically like prove everything in what is said in our religion, like everything is dependent. Like they said in string theory, they said that everything is dependent. What we say and what we do, it is like reflected somewhere else or maybe on ourselves.
Yes.
Like it is proven. It is proven by day, it is getting like everything we say in religion, it is getting proven. So, so Tinjan Savelama, he answers like, prove me wrong and I will follow science, follow what you would say. So I wanted to know your opinion, Geshe-la. What do you want to like? What is your opinion on this? Like, yeah.
As you yourself mentioned, that science is gradually proving the correctness of all the Buddhist teachings, like dependence, as you mentioned.
Yes.
Then if you listen to Heisenberg's law of the uncertainty principle,
yes.
You see many scientists, they were saying, be objective, you know, meaning that the reality is there in the object. But then Heisenberg said, uncertainty principle, how you see the object is very much dependent upon how you see it.
Yes.
Right? So these are all like coming very close to the Buddhist teaching. So
like,
therefore it is important to do comparative study.
Yeah.
And His Holiness even said that through scientific study, if you're able to prove certain teachings of the Buddha wrong, we have every right to stop it.
Yeah.
Not to do it.
Like
so therefore I've already been encouraging some people to read His Holiness book called The Universe in a Single Atom.
Yes.
That is a comparative study of Buddhism and science.
So like if like science like sorry for taking your time. So if like science like whatever we are like taught in Buddhism, like by Shakyamuni Buddha, like it makes it easier to understand for us, like practically. So if like there comes a time, not for me, like my future generations or anyone, there comes a time when it is like easier like to follow, to be happy and to like attain nirvana and like enlightenment by helping collecting virtuous quality through science. So like is there like any reason to like follow science instead of like religion? As you've also stated that really the science can also be like a form of religion too. Like science can, like people believe in science.
But science does not talk much about ethics. Science clearly says that I am here to only explore the way things are and show it to you. I'm not here to give you an instruction, be good, don't be bad, things like that. Ethics is not our responsibility. So therefore, just by studying science, you'll get some facts. But there's nothing really much to help you completely transform your mind. That is the reason why His Holiness the Dalai Lama has had so many exchanges and meetings with the scientists.
Yes.
Because His Holiness clearly said, any human activity must help improve human life.
Yes.
Science is also a human activity. Therefore, science cannot shun the responsibility of teaching ethics. Right?
Yes.
So therefore, just studying science for your job may be okay. But to make a good person, nothing there.
Thank you.
One last question, Geshe.
I do not have a question actually. I just want your advice. Even though Ladakhi people are mostly compassionate and they most of them follow Buddhism, I've never seen them questioning and questioning the caste they follow here, upper caste to lower caste, which is still present here, which is very unfortunate to be honest. As a Buddhism, we should be compassionate about each other. But they don't. Even though they say, I'm Buddhist, but they don't follow it. And even when you go to weddings, they tend to, put the so-called lower people in lower line, which is not a great thing. And if I asked an elderly man, why do we do this? And they said, because it's our tradition. So, it's kind of hypocritic to see that people in Ladakh are being very compassionate and doing such things and, giving teachings to each other that we should be compassionate, but still not following themselves. So, can you give an advice to the younger generation of Ladakhis to not follow it? So, it's very injustice to see such things happening.
Yeah, the Buddha himself said, Rik Mizo, Ru Mizo, Drubazo, which means your caste is not important. Your family lineage is not important. What is important is what you do, what you practice. If your practice means if you're doing killing, stealing, then you're kind of low caste, actually. But you won't become low caste because you're a mason or you're a blacksmith, things like that. That will not make you a blacksmith. Actually, technological. You see, it's a technician, right? So that is wrong. That's why you remember when His Holiness visited Ladakh. Then the low caste they were beating. So His Holiness, I remember, I've seen it during one. Holiness goes straight to these drum beaters. He sits there, take their drumstick and starts beating the drum. Then tells, "I am also now low caste. Don't follow me." Right. So those things, especially young people, you should not follow. Because you become bad by doing bad things, not by what you do for your daily life. Yeah.
Thank you, Geshe.
Oh yeah, thank you.
It's connect with you.